You're watching WJLA 24/7 News. Good Morning Washington. On your side.
And welcome back. Now 7:08, and President Trump's longtime friend Roger Stone will spend 3 years and 4 months in prison for obstruction and witness tampering in the Russia investigation. The president had this to say shortly after the sentencing.
Roger has a very good chance of exoneration, in my opinion. I'm not going to do anything in terms of the great powers bestowed upon a president of the United States. I want the process to play out. I think that's the best thing to do.
So you heard it there. Well, the 40 months that Stone got is about half of what the prosecutors had wanted. And right now we bring in our political insider and regular Friday contributor Armstrong Williams to talk about this and some other topics. Good to see you once again.
Good morning.
So how will this look, Armstrong, if President Trump does pardon his longtime friend after he was convicted of some federal crimes?
Well, when you have a president with that kind of prerogative, he really doesn't care. He's just hinted that he's going to pardon him. 3.5 years, if they sentence you and I to jail for 2 days, that would be too long for us. And especially when you're in your 70s and failing health. Look at Manafort. Look at what he's transformed into after going to jail. Trump would pardon him. He'll let the process play out. He's already pardoned and granted clemency to 11 this week. So just add Roger Stone to the list.
I guess it's the way it looks, because presidents typically have operated and not interfered in DOJ business. The two have been separate. Let the Department of Justice go ahead and do its own thing without presidential interference. And it's the optics here, right?
Melanie, we are talking about President Donald Trump. There's no such thing as normal anymore. Donald Trump has obliterated all the walls, all the conversations, and all the politeness. And he says, look, I am the greatest disruptor of all time. And it's not about to slow down.
All right, I want to ask you about something that happened new overnight, and this is from Intelligence Department officials. They say that Russia continues to meddle in our elections, and they are meddling in our 2020 election. And, you know, my question is, did Russia ever stop meddling?
You know, listen, I was a little surprised that that in her testimony that was mentioned. I was even more surprised that a member of Congress, I think David Nunes, alerted the president what was said, and the president thinks it only adds more fuel. He felt the Mueller days of the Russian investigation was behind. Why we're talking about this again, and as a result, McGuire is not going to be promoted to the chief. Trump has already selected someone else. There's a price that's being paid. But I just think, like you said, they're always meddling in our election. There's nothing new. And, you know, the press just wants to blow it up because it reminds them about Trump and the Mueller investigation.
All right, all eyes are on Nevada right now because their caucuses are coming up tomorrow. Iowa had problems with their caucuses. Will we see another Iowa with the counting process?
I doubt it. They're a little more sophisticated. But boy, did you watch that beatdown this week with Bloomberg?
The debate on Wednesday night. Michael Bloomberg took some hits from everybody.
No. He didn't take some hits. He took some body blows. I thought Elizabeth Warren was going to smack him because I think she's just disgusted about the things that he said about women and that he's no different than a Donald Trump. But Bloomberg's going to be okay. It's far from over because, listen, Bloomberg has a lot of money, and he's willing to spend that money. And I think there's going to be a broker convention in July when the Democrats go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But this is not over until it's over. Listen, the good news about all of this is that President Trump, in many ways, have lowered the bar on who is electable as a president of the United States or any other position in this country. And if the president were able to survive the allegations against him when he did run, and he did survive it, Michael Bloomberg will be able to do the same.
Well, he has some work ahead of him. Do you think this is going to be ultimately a battle of the billionaires?
Listen, I think Bernie Sanders, you know, I do think that the media does a disservice to Bernie Sanders because I think they're a little disgusted with his socialism too. But Bernie Sanders has a double-digit lead in the polls. Bernie Sanders is probably going to win Nevada. I think you're going to find out Bloomberg's true colors when he goes to South Carolina, because if he doesn't find the right answers to address, stop, and frisk, he's going to lose that black vote, which he's trying to take away from Biden. And Buttigieg, with his own values, will be tested in terms of whether or not the South is willing to put somebody in the White House who has a husband. I know people don't want to say it. It's not politically correct. He has a husband. He doesn't apologize for it. At the end of every debate, he usually kisses him. You got to give the man credit. He has no he's not apologetic about who and what he is. Will that work in the South? Remains to be seen.
All right, lots to keep an eye on. And of course, next week we'll talk to you about what happens in Nevada this week. Thanks for coming in today, Armstrong Williams. You can watch the Armstrong Williams Show. It's every Saturday morning at 10:30 right here on WJLA 24/7 News. And we'll be right back.